Let's talk about nuclear and what's going on in Germany right now, where they're actually having restrictions on heating and cooling and like whatever. This is what happens. This is what the government does. The government screws things up with their bad decisions. Then they go into private citizens' lives and they try to mitigate the damage by telling people what they can and cannot do. We've seen this in California, power outages, etc., for a long time. Even the wildfires that surprisingly, not surprisingly, I guess you should say, they blame it on climate change because that's why there's fires. And yes, there are natural fires in nature. But the way they were in California was from mismanagement by not letting small fires clear out underbrush. They let it build up. So it was basically a tinderbox so that when a fire did catch, which was inevitable, it was massive and they couldn't put it out. So again, human intervention, human mismanagement, etc. Now let's get into this thread. By systematically shutting down baseload critical nuclear power facilities and replacing them with intermittent renewable energy, Germany has left itself, and by extension the entire European Union, vulnerable to shortages of reliable sources of electricity. Germany further impaled itself by inhibiting domestic production of natural gas, the remaining option for producing reliable baseload power, having ruled out nuclear and coal, turning a mistake into a predictable catastrophe. The country put its trust in Putin instead. And then when it became not cool to buy from Putin, SOL. Having closed 3 perfectly operable nuclear power plants at the end of 2021, again, for the green ESG nonsense, for the political, moral, fake moral crap, Germany was on course to close its final 3 reactors at the end of this year. Despite growing calls to reconsider this foolhardy decision, the German Greens remained staunchly opposed. The situation dissolved into a farce. Instead of embracing nuclear power, the least carbon-intensive, most reliable, cleanest form of energy known to humanity. Like, read that sentence again. That's what nuclear is. It's the safest by far. Germany restarted mothballed coal power plants. You can't make this stuff up. One need look no further than the explosion in the cost of electricity in Germany for proof of what this blitzkrieg of bad policy has accomplished. The price of year-ahead baseload power has skyrocketed 6-fold. Now, you should read this whole thread on Twitter. It goes into California and Newsom and stuff like that, because California's facing a similar thing. My utility bill last month was $500. Now, it's very hot in Austin, so that has a lot to do with it. It also includes water, wastewater, and I mean they charge you for wastewater. That's like a new thing. I don't remember that in Florida. You pump water, and then whatever goes on the drain, they charge you on both ends, right? And garbage. So that's like $100 for garbage and water. The rest is just electricity from heating a big house in 104-degree weather. Now imagine that timesing by 6. That would be more than my rent. Like, people need to wake up. This is what you get with governments and politicians that try to do too much. This is